Is it normal for a toddler
Is
to
it
hate
normal that my
vegetables?
baby wakes up
Is it
every 2
normal if my
that my
baby never
3-year-old
babbles?
still
Normal
crawls
for
into my
kids
bed
to get
every night?
mild fevers after
Shouldn't my
vaccines?
toddler be sleeping through the night by now?
Hey everyone, welcome to Mom But Still Me. I'm Ava.
And I'm Riley. We're so glad you're here with us today.
Okay, so let's be honest for a second. Have you ever sat in the dark at like 2 in the morning rocking your baby and suddenly this thought pops into your head? Is this normal?
Oh my gosh, yes, a million times.
I feel like that phrase should just be printed on my forehead. Right? Like, is it normal that my newborn wants to nurse every 30 minutes? Or is it normal that my toddler literally survives on crackers and refuses everything green? And is it normal that my 3-year-old had a full meltdown at Target because we didn't buy the blue toothbrush? Yep, that one hits home. These little everyday moments, they can make you feel so unsure. Like, wait, am I doing something wrong? Is my child okay? Did I miss some crucial parenting memo? Exactly. And I think that's why this question, is it normal, carries so much weight, because underneath it, we're really asking, am I enough? Is my kid okay? Are we on the right track?
Yes, yes, and yes. And here's the thing. So much of what makes us panic is actually completely normal. Kids develop at different paces, they hit milestones on their own timelines, and honestly, a lot of the messy stuff is just part of growing up. Totally. And I wish someone had told me that earlier, because when you're in it, when your baby won't sleep or your toddler is throwing food, it feels like you're the only one struggling. And then you go online, right? You search, is it normal that my baby? And suddenly you've got 47 answers, half of them contradicting each other, and somehow you've convinced yourself your kid has a rare condition only 3 children in the world have. Oh my gosh, yes, the rabbit holes. And you just spiral.
So that's why we're doing this. This episode is for every mom who has ever wondered, is it normal? And instead of giving you a one-word answer, yes or no, we want to unpack it. We want to talk about what falls within the normal spectrum, when you might want to pay closer attention, and how to handle it without feeling like you're failing.
We're not here to give you some glossy, perfect version of motherhood. We're going to talk about the real stuff, the messy stuff, because this is where moms live, in the questions, in the doubt, in the, why is my kid licking the shopping cart kind of moments.
That really happened to you, didn't it?
Yep, full tongue on the cart. And of course I thought, is this normal?
Oh, that's so real.
But that's what I love about today. We've brought in an expert to help us sort through all of this. Because as moms, we have our stories and experiences, but sometimes you just need that professional perspective to calm the noise.
Exactly. And just so you know, if you're listening and nodding along, or maybe laughing because this sounds like your life, you are not alone, truly. Every mom asks this question. You are in good company.
So, before we introduce our guest, let's just set the stage. In this episode, we're going to touch on feeding and picky eating, sleep, developmental milestones, tantrums, discipline, you name it. Basically, all the hot spots where moms wonder, is this normal?
And we're going to break it down into simple, honest conversation. Nothing too clinical, nothing judgmental, just real talk with some science and practical tools sprinkled in.
Because our goal is not just to reassure you, it's to empower you, to help you walk away thinking, okay, I get it now. I can handle this.
Exactly. We want you to feel lighter, less alone, and maybe even laugh a little.
Okay, Ava, before we move on, can I share one more story?
Please do.
So the other day, my kid was in the back seat singing Baby Shark at full volume, like on repeat for 15 minutes. And then suddenly he just stopped, looked out the window, and started whispering to himself. And I'm driving like, is this normal?
Oh, that's so real. I've had that exact moment where you're like, wait, should I be worried? Or is this just kid stuff?
Exactly. And I think every mom listening has their own version of that story.
Yep. Which is why today's episode is going to be so good.
All right, let's do this. Let's bring in our guest and start answering these questions for real.
Before we dive into all the questions, let's just pause for a second and introduce ourselves properly. Because you might be thinking, who are these two women talking about Target meltdowns and toothbrush drama?
Yeah, fair point. So I'm Riley, and like most of you listening, I'm in the thick of motherhood right now. I don't come here as an expert with a clipboard. I come as someone who's learning every day, sometimes failing spectacularly and still showing up.
And I'm Ava. Same. I'm not here to give you textbook answers. I'm here because I've lived through those nights where you're Googling at 3 a.m. and crying into your cold coffee the next morning. I know what it feels like to doubt yourself, to compare, to just want someone to say, hey, you're okay. Your kid is okay.
Exactly. And we thought, what if we created the kind of space we both wish we had when we were brand new moms? A place that's honest, real, sometimes a little messy, but always encouraging. That's how Mom But Still Me was born.
Right, because motherhood is huge. It changes everything, but it doesn't erase you. That's why this podcast exists, to remind you that you're still you, even in the middle of spit up, tantrums, and Cheerios stuck in your hair.
I literally found Cheerios in my purse yesterday.
Yep, see? Real life.
And here's the other thing. We don't want this to feel like a lecture. We want it to feel like you're hanging out with two friends on the couch, coffee in hand, finally talking about the things we all think but don't always say out loud.
Exactly. And speaking of coffee on the couch, today we've invited someone really special to join us. Someone who can take all of these messy, confusing questions we have as moms and shine a light on them with a mix of research, experience, and a whole lot of empathy.
Yes, we are so excited to welcome Dr. Sofia Bennett.
Dr. Bennett is a child psychologist who has spent over a decade working closely with families of infants, toddlers, and preschoolers.
She specializes in early childhood behavior and development, basically all the ages and stages where moms are asking, is it normal?
Pretty much, yeah.
And what we love most about her is the way she translates all the science and research into simple, practical steps that actually make sense in daily life.
Because let's be honest, when you're sleep deprived and covered in spit up, you don't need a dissertation. You need someone to say, here's what's happening, here's why, and here's what you can try.
Exactly. And Dr. Bennett is brilliant at doing just that.
Thank you, Ava and Riley. I am so happy to be here with you and with all the moms listening. And honestly, I love this topic because every single day in my office, parents lean in at the end of a session and whisper, is this normal? It's universal. It's the heart of parenting.
Oh, wow, that gives me chills a little because it's so true.
Right? And what I always tell parents is that childhood is full of ranges. Kids are not robots. They don't all learn to walk on the same day. They don't all sleep the same number of hours. They don't all react the same way to broccoli. And thank goodness for that, because those differences are what make each child unique.
That already makes me breathe easier.
Same.
But I do have to ask, why do you think moms get so caught up in this question, is it normal?
That's a great question. I think a lot of it comes from love. Moms care so deeply and they want to do right by their children. But it also comes from pressure. Social media, comparison, cultural expectations. You see another child walking early, or you read a post about a toddler eating quinoa salad, and suddenly you feel behind.
Okay, can I just say, if your toddler is eating quinoa salad, please send me your secrets.
Seriously, mine won't even eat macaroni half the time.
And that's where the worry creeps in. We start to think, if my child isn't doing that, something must be wrong. But the truth is, development is a spectrum, and normal is wider than most people realize.
I love that. Wider than we realize. That's so comforting.
So, here's the plan for today's conversation. We're going to take the big categories where moms usually ask, is it normal? Feeding, sleep, milestones, tantrums, discipline, and we're going to walk through them one by one.
And along the way, Dr. Bennett will help us understand what typically falls into the don't worry zone, what might deserve a closer look, and what we as moms can actually do to make life a little smoother.
And then at the end, we're going to have some fun with a lightning round of rapid fire is it normal questions. So stay with us because we know you'll hear one that sounds exactly like your life right now.
Yep, so grab your coffee or maybe your cold tea that you reheated 3 times and settle in because we're about to answer some of the most common and the most stressful questions moms carry around every day.
Dr. Bennett, thank you again for being here. We cannot wait to get into this with you.
I'm excited too. Let's do it.
All right, let's start with one of the biggest stress points for moms, feeding.
Yes, because I swear, no matter what stage you're in, breastfeeding, bottle feeding, solids, picky eating, food becomes this huge thing.
Totally. And the questions are endless. Like, is it normal that my newborn wants to nurse every hour? Or is it normal that my baby takes forever to finish a bottle? Or my toddler literally eats air and crackers and that's it.
Yes, yes, and yes. These are exactly the kinds of questions moms bring up all the time. And here's the first thing I want to say. Feeding is not just about nutrition. It's about connection, comfort, and learning. Babies and toddlers are figuring out the world, and food is part of that process.
I love that because when you're in it, it feels like a measurement of your worth. Like if your baby isn't eating the way the book says, you feel like you're failing.
But the truth is, there's a wide range of what's normal. For example, with breastfeeding, newborns often nurse every 2 to 3 hours, but sometimes it's more frequent, especially during growth spurts. That's not a sign something is wrong. It's just how their bodies grow.
Okay, that makes me feel so seen because I remember thinking, am I broken? Why is my baby always attached to me?
No, not broken. That's completely normal. And with bottle feeding, the same applies. Some babies take longer, some are quicker. What matters is steady growth and wet diapers, not how fast they drink.
That's so freeing. But what about when they hit the toddler stage? Because picky eating is real. Like, I remember one week my kid loved blueberries, ate them every day. The next week, wouldn't even touch them.
Oh, I've been there. Suddenly, the favorite food is the enemy.
That's called food jags, and it's very normal for toddlers. They'll obsess over one food, then reject it. It's part of testing independence. The best approach is to keep offering a variety without pressure.
So basically, don't make it a battle?
Yes, research shows that pressuring kids often backfires. They eat less or they develop negative associations with food. Your job is to offer healthy options. Their job is to decide how much to eat.
That's the division of responsibility, right?
Yes, Ellen Satter's model. Parents decide what, when, and where. Kids decide if and how much. It really helps take the power struggle out of meal times.
I wish I'd known that earlier because I definitely bribed my toddler with one more bite more than once.
Oh, same here, guilty.
And that's okay. We've all been there. But long-term, keeping meals low pressure is the best gift you can give your child.
Okay, quick question that always comes up. Is it normal for babies and toddlers to just not eat much? Like some days it feels like they survive on 2 grapes and half a cracker.
Totally normal. Appetite fluctuates with growth and activity. Some days they're starving, other days they barely eat. As long as they're growing well over time, it's not usually a concern.
Oh, that's such a relief.
Yeah, because otherwise you're staring at the plate like, please just eat the peas.
Yes, you're like willing the food into their mouth.
And that's when mealtime becomes stressful for you and your child. So the goal is to create a calm, positive atmosphere. Eat together when possible, model healthy eating, and trust your child's appetite.
That actually takes the pressure off me, too. Like it's not all on my shoulders.
Exactly. And remember, eating is a long game. What matters is patterns over time, not what they eat in a single day.
That's such a good reminder. And I think another stressful stage is introducing solids because moms wonder, am I doing this right? Should I start with purees or baby-led weaning?
Yes, I remember feeling so much pressure, like whichever method I chose would determine my child's future relationship with food.
That's very common. Here's the reality. Both purees and baby-led weaning are safe and healthy approaches when done properly. What matters most is offering a variety of textures and flavors, watching for readiness cues, and keeping meal times positive.
And the mess. Oh my gosh, the mess.
Yes, the spaghetti hair, the yogurt on the ceiling. I swear solids are an Olympic event.
Absolutely. And here's a tip. Mess is part of the learning. Research shows that sensory play with food, touching, smearing, even throwing, is how babies explore and accept new foods.
So basically, I can stop scrubbing the high chair tray with tears in my eyes.
Yep, it's not failure, it's science.
Exactly. Now, there are times when feeding challenges deserve extra attention. If your baby or toddler is consistently choking, gagging excessively, refusing entire food groups for months, or dropping on the growth chart, that's when you'd want to check in with your pediatrician or a feeding specialist.
That's good to know because sometimes moms don't realize where the line is between normal picky and something that needs support.
Right. Like, is it normal for a toddler to hate vegetables? Yes. But is it normal for them to only accept 5 foods total for 6 months straight? Maybe not.
That's when we dig deeper to make sure there's not an underlying sensory or medical issue. But again, the majority of picky eating is just a phase.
I love that because sometimes just knowing the difference, what's typical, what's a red flag, helps calm the worry.
Same. And I think the guilt piece is huge too. Like, moms feel ashamed if breastfeeding is hard, or if they switch to formula, or if their toddler isn't eating kale chips.
Yes, and here's what I always remind moms. How you feed your child is not a measure of your love or competence. Formula is not failure. Purees are not failure. Even McDonald's nuggets once in a while are not failure.
Thank you for saying that.
Seriously, can we make a t-shirt? Formula is not failure?
I'd buy 10.
Feeding is a journey, and every family's journey looks different. What matters most is connection at the table, not perfection on the plate.
I feel lighter just hearing that.
Okay, so to wrap this section, feeding worries, pretty much universal. Babies eat weirdly, toddlers get picky, mess is normal, and moms don't have to carry the weight of perfection.
Amen.
Well said.
All right, next up, we're tackling another monster topic, sleep. All right, let's get into the beast of all parenting topics, sleep.
Oh, sleep. Or should I say, the lack of sleep.
Exactly. If you're listening right now with dark circles under your eyes and a lukewarm coffee in your hand, we see you.
And honestly, this might be the number one, is it normal question? Like, is it normal that my baby wakes up every 2 hours? Is it normal that my toddler still needs me to fall asleep?
Or is it normal that I haven't slept through the night in 3 years and I don't know my own name anymore?
Yes, all of the above. Sleep is one of the biggest challenges for families, and it's one of the most variable parts of early childhood. So, where do we even start? Let's start with infants. Newborn sleep is unpredictable, period. Their bodies are adjusting to life outside the womb. It's normal for them to wake frequently because their stomachs are small and they need to eat often.
That makes sense, but I think so many moms go in expecting a schedule right away and then panic when their baby isn't sleeping long stretches.
What people should know is that most babies don't consolidate sleep until somewhere between 3 and 6 months. And even then, it varies. Some sleep longer earlier, some take much longer. Both can be normal.
So if your baby is waking up a lot, it doesn't necessarily mean you're doing something wrong.
Correct. It means your baby is a baby.
Can we put that on a poster? Your baby is a baby.
Yes!
That's going above my crib.
But here's the nuance. If you're feeling overwhelmed, that matters too. It's not just about the baby's sleep. It's about family well-being. So if you need support, whether it's sharing night duties, talking to your pediatrician, or even working with a sleep consultant, that's okay.
I like that you said that because sometimes moms feel guilty asking for help, like they should just push through.
Exactly, but chronic sleep deprivation isn't sustainable. Supporting moms matters just as much as supporting babies.
Okay, but what about toddlers? Because, oh my gosh, toddler sleep is its own drama.
The bedtime battles. One more story, one more glass of water, one more trip to the bathroom. And suddenly it's 10 p.m. and you're still negotiating.
Yes, that's a classic stage. Around ages 2 to 3, kids often resist bedtime. It's part of their growing independence. And yes, it's normal.
Normal, but exhausting.
Yep. And then there are night wakings. Like, is it normal that my 3-year-old still crawls into my bed every night?
Very common. Many children seek comfort at night well into the preschool years. For some families, co-sleeping works. For others, it doesn't. The key is deciding what works for your family and being consistent.
So it's not like if your kid still wakes up, you failed.
Not at all. Sleep is developmental, just like walking or talking. Some kids do it earlier, some later.
That's really comforting. But I know some moms worry. Like, shouldn't my toddler be sleeping through the night by now?
And the answer is maybe, maybe not. Research shows that about 25 to 30% of toddlers still wake at night. It's not unusual.
Wow, so it's actually really common.
Okay, but what about naps? Because I swear my toddler gave up naps at 2.5, and I was devastated.
Oh, same. I mourned nap time.
Yes, dropping naps is another common worry. Most children nap until age 3 or 4, but some stop earlier, and that can be normal too. The key is whether they can get enough rest in a 24-hour period.
Okay, but what if they're overtired and bouncing off the walls?
Then you may need to adjust bedtime earlier. Sleep needs don't disappear, but the way kids meet those needs changes as they grow.
That's so helpful. Can I just say, though, why does it feel like every conversation about sleep ends with, it depends?
Because it does. Sleep is not one size fits all. There are patterns, but every child is unique.
That's frustrating, but also kind of freeing.
Yeah, because it means if your kid isn't like your neighbor's kid, it doesn't mean something is wrong.
For sure. And just like with feeding, there are times to seek support. If your child snores heavily, has pauses in breathing, or if sleep struggles are seriously impacting family life, talk to your pediatrician.
That's good to know because sometimes moms suffer in silence, and sometimes they get told it's just a phase when they're truly drowning.
Right, and that's why I always tell parents, trust your instincts. You know your child. If something feels off, it's worth checking.
Can we just pause and say that applies to motherhood in general?
Yes, your gut is powerful.
Absolutely.
Okay, so before we wrap up this section, I have to ask, is it normal for parents to obsess over sleep charts and apps?
Oh gosh, guilty.
Yes, also normal. But sometimes those tools add stress instead of helping. Use them if they give you peace of mind. If they make you anxious, step away.
That's a good reminder.
Yeah, because sometimes you just need to close the app and take a nap yourself.
Preach.
Amen.
Okay, let's land this section. Sleep struggles, very common. Night wakings, bedtime battles, nap drama, all normal. But if you need help, that's normal too.
Yes, you're not weak for needing rest. You're human.
And your child's sleep will change many times in these early years. Flexibility and compassion for them and for yourself make all the difference.
Beautiful. All right, deep breath. Coming up next, developmental milestones. Walking, talking, potty training, all the things we secretly compare our kids about. Okay, let's dive into another big is it normal category, developmental milestones.
Oh yes, walking, talking, potty training, basically all the stuff that turns moms into secret competitors at the playground.
It's true. Like, oh, your baby is already crawling? Mine still just rolls like a potato.
Or your toddler is already potty trained. Mine just decorated the living room with finger paint, and it wasn't paint.
Oh no. Believe me, I've heard it all. And here's the key thing to remember. Children develop on a spectrum. There are average ages for milestones, but normal covers a wide range.
So, for example, walking.
Yes, walking usually happens between 9 and 18 months. That's a huge window. Some are early walkers, some take their time, and both are fine. Research actually shows that walking later, like closer to 16 or 17 months, doesn't predict anything negative long-term.
Okay, that's reassuring because I remember panicking when mine wasn't walking at their first birthday party.
Same here. Everyone was like, oh, are they walking yet? And I wanted to shout, stop asking.
And some kids skip crawling, right?
Exactly. Skipping crawling and going straight to walking is normal too. Crawling isn't a required step. It's just one way babies build strength and coordination.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought skipping crawling was like a red flag.
Not usually. As long as the child is mobile in some way, scooting, rolling, whatever, they're building those skills.
Okay, what about talking? Because language development feels like a minefield.
On average, babies say their first words around 12 months, but some take longer. By 18 months, many kids have a handful of words. By 2 years, it might be 50 words or more. But again, there's variation. Some kids focus on motor skills first and talk later. Others talk early and walk later. Both are normal patterns.
So if your child isn't reciting poetry by 2, it's okay?
Absolutely. What matters is progress. Understanding simple instructions, showing interest in communication, even with gestures. Those are great signs.
And gestures count too, right? Like pointing or waving.
Yes, those are early forms of communication and very encouraging signs.
Okay, but here's the question moms always whisper to each other. When should you worry?
Good question. If your child isn't making eye contact, not responding to sounds, not babbling by around 12 months, or not saying any words by 18 months, those are cues to check in with your pediatrician. And if speech seems far behind, speech therapy can be incredibly helpful.
That's helpful because it's not about comparing to your neighbor's kid. It's about noticing your child's own growth.
Yes. Okay, potty training. Let's go there.
Ugh, don't even remind me. That was an adventure.
Same. So, Dr. Bennett, is it normal for kids to be potty trained at wildly different ages?
Very normal. Most kids are ready somewhere between 2 and 3 years old, but some earlier, some later. Readiness signs matter more than age, like staying dry for a couple of hours, showing interest in the potty, or telling you when they're wet.
So it's not a race.
No, it's not. Enforcing it before they're ready usually backfires. It can lead to power struggles and setbacks.
That makes sense because I definitely tried to rush it once, and let's just say I regretted that.
Oh, I've got stories too. Like, I thought I was clever putting my toddler on the potty with a sticker chart, but it turned into a full-on sticker war.
Yes, that's a classic. Rewards can help, but only if the child is truly ready. Okay, can we talk about motor skills for a second? Like climbing, running, fine motor stuff? Because I feel like that gets overlooked.
Great point. Fine motor skills like stacking blocks, scribbling with a crayon, picking up small objects develop gradually. Some toddlers scribble early, some aren't interested until later. Same with climbing. If your kid is scaling the furniture at 18 months, normal. If they're cautious and prefer the floor, also normal.
One of mine was like Spider-Man on the couch.
And mine was like, nope, too high, thanks.
Both perfectly healthy.
Okay, let's zoom out. Why do we compare so much?
Yes. Like, why does it sting when someone else's kid does something first?
That's such a human reaction. Comparison is natural, but it's not useful. Child development is like a marathon, not a sprint. Everyone gets there at their own pace.
Yeah, like no one asks a 25-year-old, how old were you when you learned to crawl?
Exactly. Or did you talk at 11 months or 15 months? Nobody cares.
Precisely. These early years feel huge, but in the big picture, the exact timing doesn't define your child's future.
That's such a relief.
And honestly, I think moms need to hear that over and over.
I agree. Celebrate your child's progress, however it looks. And if you have concerns, talk to your pediatrician. You don't have to figure it out alone.
That's the perfect balance. Trust the process, but also trust your instincts.
You said it all.
Okay, so to wrap this section, walking, talking, potty training, they all have wide windows of normal. Don't panic if your child is on their own timeline.
Yes, and please, moms, let's stop asking each other, are they walking yet?
Let's replace that with how are you doing?
Yes, because sometimes the real milestone is the mom surviving the day.
That is so true.
All right, coming up. Tantrums and discipline, the stuff that makes us all question if we're raising tiny dictators. All right, let's talk about something that makes every mom break into a sweat. Behavior.
Oh, you mean tantrums?
Oh yes, public tantrums, living room tantrums, car seat tantrums, grocery store floor tantrums.
Target aisle 3 tantrums, the kind where you pretend you don't even know your own child.
Guilty.
Yes, tantrums are universal. And the first thing I'll say is yes, it's normal. Tantrums are a developmental stage. They're not a sign that your child is bad or that you're failing as a parent.
Okay, but why do they happen at the worst possible moments? Like, why not at home on a quiet Tuesday instead of during a wedding ceremony?
Because children don't yet have the ability to regulate their emotions the way adults do. Their brains are still developing. The prefrontal cortex, the part that controls impulse and self-regulation, won't fully mature until their 20s.
20s? Oh my gosh, no wonder I'm still moody sometimes.
So when toddlers melt down, it's not manipulation, it's overwhelm. Too tired, too hungry, too stimulated.
Okay, that's so good to hear, because when you're in the middle of it, you think, everyone's judging me. They think I can't control my kid.
Yes, and then you panic and start threatening no ice cream for a week when you know you're going to give them ice cream tomorrow.
Oh, been there.
That's very relatable. And here's the research. Studies show tantrums peak between 18 months and 3 years old. Most toddlers have one a day, sometimes more. That's normal. One a day sounds about right. At least.
The goal isn't to eliminate tantrums. It's to guide children through them safely and calmly.
Okay, but calmly is not my default when I'm in the grocery store and my toddler is lying flat on the floor screaming because I said no to the family-size pack of gummy worms.
Oh my gosh, yes. The limp body flop, the you cannot physically pick me up protest.
Oh, the spaghetti legs. Very common tactic.
Spaghetti legs, perfect description.
And that's why preparation helps. Keep snacks handy, avoid errands when they're exhausted, and set expectations ahead of time. Like, we're going into the store, we're buying bread and apples, and we're not buying candy today.
That's smart, but okay, what about discipline? Like, is it normal to feel completely lost?
Yes, because there are so many approaches. Gentle parenting, positive discipline, timeouts, time ends. It's overwhelming.
I hear that a lot, and the truth is, discipline isn't about punishment. It's about teaching. The word discipline comes from the Latin disciplina, meaning instruction or knowledge. So the focus should be on guiding, not shaming.
That reframes everything.
Yeah, because I grew up thinking discipline meant punishment, like, you did wrong, now you pay.
Many of us did. But modern research shows that positive discipline, things like clear boundaries, empathy, and consistent routines, work better long-term than harsh punishment. Kids learn self-regulation when they feel safe and understood.
Okay, so like instead of yelling, narrating what's happening?
You got the idea. I see you're upset because we had to leave the park. It's okay to feel sad. That validates their emotion while still holding the boundary, but it's time to go home now.
That sounds so calm, but in real life, I'm like, get in the car, we're leaving.
Same.
And that's normal too. None of us respond perfectly every time. The goal isn't perfection, it's connection. Repairing after a rough moment is powerful too. Saying, hey, I was frustrated earlier, but I love you. That teaches resilience.
Oh, wow, I love that. Because it gives moms permission to mess up sometimes.
Yes, because we're human too.
And here's another normal behavior parents worry about: hitting or biting. Very common in toddlers.
Oh, thank goodness you said that.
Seriously, that's one of those, am I raising a tiny villain moment?
It's not villainy, it's lack of skills. Toddlers lash out when they don't have words for their big feelings. The role of parents is to stay calm, stop the behavior, and model alternatives. Hands are not for hitting. You can say, "I'm mad."
That's so good.
Yeah, because the instinct is to react with anger, but that doesn't teach them what to do instead.
Precisely, redirection and modeling are key.
Okay, wait. I need to ask something every mom wonders. Am I spoiling my kid if I comfort them during a tantrum?
Wonderful question. And no, you're not spoiling them. Research shows that comforting children actually helps them learn regulation. Spoiling comes from inconsistency, like giving in after saying no. Comforting is different. It's about being a safe place while still holding limits.
That's such a relief because sometimes I hold my child and in the back of my head I hear people will think I'm too soft. Same! Like if you hug your screaming toddler, it looks like you're rewarding the meltdown.
But what you're really teaching is, your feelings are safe here, even when I can't change the rule. That's powerful.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I just got chills. Okay, switching gears. What about discipline strategies like timeout? Are those out?
Great point. Timeout used to be the gold standard. Research now suggests that when it's used as isolation, it doesn't teach skills. But a time in, where the child stays close and you help them calm down, can be more effective. Still, short, calm-down breaks aren't harmful if they're done with connection, not shame.
Oh, so it's about how you use it. That makes so much sense. Because honestly, sometimes I need a timeout.
Yes. Can moms get a timeout corner with snacks and Netflix?
Absolutely. Modeling that you need a break is healthy. I'm feeling upset. I need a moment. That teaches children emotional regulation too.
Wow, okay, that flips it. Timeout isn't bad, it's just often misused. And time in feels gentler, like connection instead of punishment.
Exactly.
Okay, but before we move on, I feel like we should touch on this. What about when tantrums don't feel so typical? Like, when do you start to wonder if something bigger is going on?
That's such an important question. Most tantrums are completely normal, but there are a few signs that suggest a check-in might help. For example, if the meltdowns last 30 minutes or more on a regular basis, if they happen many times a day and your child can't calm down even with comfort, or if aggression is very severe and constant.
Aggression? That's the scary one for me. Like when it moves from crying on the floor to hitting or biting.
Ah, yes, the dreaded daycare note. Your child bit another kid today.
Very common. Toddlers bite, hit, shove. It's often frustration plus lack of words. It doesn't mean something's wrong with your child. It's development. The good news is, most kids grow out of it as their language and self-regulation improve.
So, not a red flag by itself.
Right. It's all about pattern and severity. Occasional biting, normal. Constant, intense aggression that injures others or makes it impossible to be in group settings, that's when it's worth seeking guidance.
That's helpful because sometimes we go straight to worst case scenario in our heads.
Totally. And in the moment, it feels like everyone is staring at you. Like, why can't you control your kid?
Which is why discipline here isn't about punishment. It's about teaching. For example, calmly but firmly, I can't let you bite. Biting hurts. Here's another way to show you're mad. You're modeling limits and also giving them a replacement skill.
So, discipline as guidance, not shame.
You're showing them all feelings are allowed, not all behaviors are.
That line alone could go on a poster.
Yeah, it really flips the script because sometimes I hear my own parents' voices in my head. Stop crying or I'll give you something to cry about.
Same here. And I have to stop myself like, nope, we're doing it differently this time.
That awareness is huge because parenting is as much about relearning as it is about teaching.
So true. But in the heat of the moment, what do we actually do? Like, give us the survival tools.
Absolutely. A few things parents find helpful. First, name the feeling. Saying, "You're angry because I turned off the TV," helps children connect body sensations to words. Second, stay near. Even if you can't stop the tantrum, your calm presence communicates safety.
Third, offer choices when possible, like you can stomp your feet on the floor or squeeze this pillow. That channels the energy into something safe. And fourth, predictable routines. Kids melt down less when they know what's coming.
Ugh, routines. My kid loses it when I change the order of bedtime. Same here. One skipped step and suddenly we're in World War III.
I see. Routine gives children a sense of control in a world that often feels overwhelming.
That's really practical because sometimes you hear positive discipline and it sounds fluffy, but these are things I could actually try tonight.
And none of them are magic wands. It's practice, consistency, and repair when it doesn't go perfectly, which it won't.
Good, because perfect left my house a long time ago.
You know, I understand now that sometimes when kids are overwhelmed, it's less about fixing the behavior and more about helping them calm down first.
Absolutely. And one little thing that's been helping us lately is this series we stumbled upon called Stories and Rhymes for Wonderful Times. The stories are short, magical, and have this really calming vibe.
Oh, I love that. Should we play a short clip for everyone?
Yes, let's do it. Here's a little taste.
There once was a fox who roamed by the dock, when under the moonlight he spotted a clock. It ticked and it tocked, though its face was all worn. Its hands moved too quickly, the numbers forlorn. He carried it home to his dearest small friend, a mouse in a house cozy warm at the bend. "Oh, fox," said the mouse, "what a marvelous find! But time here is broken, it races the mind." The fox scratched his head, the mouse tapped his chin. "We'll need some new gears to set order within." They tightened the screws and they polished the glass, yet still the poor minutes went rushing too fast. Just then came a frog with a hat tipped askew. He croaked, "I know clocks, let me help both of you." He lifted the gears and he studied each part, then smiled at the mouse. "Shall we give it a start?"
Oh, that was lovely. There's something so gentle about it.
Right? And it's short, so it doesn't feel like this big production. Just a little pocket of calm you can share with your kid.
And honestly, parents need that calm too. Sometimes it's as much for us as it is for them.
Couldn't agree more. So yeah, if that spoke to you, check the link in the comments. It might become part of your toolbox too. Now, moving forward.
So tantrums, aggression, discipline, it's all part of the normal, messy process of becoming human.
And the good news is, these phases do pass.
They do. And when they fade, often the next phase shows up, like separation anxiety.
Ugh, yes, the leg clinging, "Don't leave me, mommy" stage.
Oh, or the screaming when you just try to go to the bathroom alone.
So true.
So let's talk about that.
Okay, let's dive into separation anxiety because, whoo, this one hit me hard.
Oh yeah, the clingy stage. My toddler used to scream like I was abandoning him forever, just because I went to the bathroom.
Yes! You think you'll sneak off for 2 minutes, and suddenly it's a full Greek tragedy in your living room.
Very normal. Separation anxiety usually starts around 8 to 10 months, peaks somewhere between 12 and 18 months, and then gradually eases as the child's brain matures and they realize mom disappears, but she comes back.
So it's basically brain development playing tricks on us?
Right. It's tied to object permanence. Once babies understand you exist, even when you're out of sight, they panic because they don't yet trust you'll return.
That explains why daycare drop-off felt like a crime scene at our house.
Oh yes, my little one once clung to my legs so tightly the teacher had to peel her off like a sticker.
Oh, I've been there. You leave the room feeling like the villain in a movie.
The guilt is so real. But the good news is, most of the time, the crying stops minutes after you leave. Teachers often report kids calm quickly once they're distracted. The drama is real at the door, but not all day.
That's actually comforting, because I used to sit in my car and cry after drop-off.
And that shows how deep the bond is. Separation anxiety is actually a sign of healthy attachment. It means your child knows you're their safe person.
So the clinginess is proof they love us?
In a way, yes. They wouldn't protest if you didn't matter.
Okay, but let's get practical. How do we make goodbyes less painful? For them and for us.
Great question. A few strategies. Keep goodbyes short and consistent. Lingering often makes it worse. Create a ritual, a special hug, a wave at the window, or a phrase like, "See you after snack time." Rituals give predictability. Stay calm. If you look anxious, your child will mirror that. Practice short separations. Even stepping out of the room and returning builds trust.
That ritual idea is sweet. My friend does 2 kisses and a high five at preschool drop-off.
Oh, I love that. We do a hug sandwich at home. Me, my kid, and my partner all squeeze together, then I leave. It actually works.
Exactly. Rituals create security. They signal, this is goodbye. But goodbye always ends with hello again.
I wish I'd known that earlier. I used to sneak out when my baby wasn't looking, thinking it would be easier.
Yep, been there.
That's a very common instinct, but it often backfires. Sneaking out can increase anxiety because the child realizes you disappear without warning. Predictability is more comforting than surprise.
Okay, so no more ninja exits. Got it. The sneaky mom strategy is retired.
Another tool that helps is a transitional object, like a small blanket, stuffed animal, or even a photo, something they associate with comfort.
Oh, my daughter had this floppy bunny she carried everywhere. Total lifesaver.
Mine has a little car that somehow became the chosen one. We once had a meltdown at Target because I forgot it at home.
Yes, those objects can be powerful. They bridge the gap between home and the outside world.
I also heard of parents recording a short voice message like, "Mommy loves you, I'll see you later," and the kid can press play.
That's a wonderful idea. Simple reminders like that give comfort. Even a photo in their backpack can help.
That's really practical, because sometimes you hear healthy attachment, and it sounds abstract, but these are things you can actually do tomorrow morning.
But now I'm wondering, when does separation anxiety cross into concerning territory?
Important question. Normal separation anxiety usually eases by age 3. It may pop up again during big transitions like starting preschool, a move, or a new sibling, but it shouldn't dominate daily life.
So if your 4 or 5-year-old is still melting down every single time you leave, that might be something to check on.
That's right. If the anxiety is extreme, lasts well beyond the toddler years, or interferes with daily functioning, like refusing school, frequent stomach aches, or panic at bedtime, that's when it's worth reaching out for professional support.
That's good to know because sometimes you wonder, am I overreacting or underreacting?
Think of it like this. It's not the presence of separation anxiety that matters. It's the intensity and persistence.
That's such a clear way to frame it.
Yeah, because if it lingers and keeps getting bigger instead of shrinking, that's the red flag.
Exactly. And remember, attachment isn't about never separating. It's about building enough trust that separation feels survivable.
Oof, that's powerful.
And honestly, sometimes the hardest part is our emotions. The guilt, the second guessing, it can eat at you.
Absolutely. That's why I always remind parents separation anxiety is a two-way street. The child is learning, but so is the parent. It's okay to feel torn, to need your own coping strategies.
Like a coffee in the car after drop-off?
Or texting another mom just to say, "I survived the goodbye today."
Those small rituals matter for parents, too. You're not failing because you feel emotional. You're human.
That helps. Because sometimes I felt weak for crying.
Not weak at all. It's love. The goal isn't to get rid of the feelings, it's to carry them in a way that lets your child grow. So bottom line, short goodbyes, calm energy, comfort objects, predictable rituals, and knowing when to get extra help. Perfect summary. And give yourself grace. These clingy chapters will pass, but the bond you're building is forever.
Okay, so we've been through a lot already. Feeding, sleep, tantrums, all of it.
We really have. And if you're still with us, thank you, because what we're about to dive into might be the most important part of this whole conversation.
Yeah, I'd even dare say this is the heart of the episode. Because we've been asking if kids' behavior is normal, but can we flip it for a second? There's another version of the same question. Am I normal?
Yes, let's talk about us, please, because honestly, some of my biggest is it normal questions
Are about me, not my kid.
same.
Like, okay, here's one. Is it normal to feel guilty all the time?
Oh my gosh, yes. Mom guilt is like my daily companion. If I'm at work, I feel guilty. If I'm at home, I feel guilty. If I take 5 minutes to scroll Instagram, I feel guilty.
You're describing something nearly every mother feels. Studies show over 90% of moms report experiencing guilt on a weekly basis. It's often tied to the unrealistic expectations our culture places on women.
That makes sense. Because I don't think my husband lies awake at night feeling guilty he didn't pack the perfect bento box lunch.
Exactly.
Right. The guilt is disproportionately carried by mothers. The important thing to remember is guilt is just a signal. It doesn't always mean you did something wrong. It often means you care deeply.
Okay, that's actually kind of free.
Yeah, like guilt doesn't equal failure.
And sometimes turning guilt into curiosity helps. Instead of, I'm a bad mom for working late, you can ask, what value is important to me here? Connection? Presence? Providing? That shift reduces the shame spiral.
I like that, because honestly, the shame spiral is real.
That right there, that's the hidden soundtrack of parenthood. I hear it from moms constantly. Doubt, guilt, comparison, and it's so important to say those feelings, they're part of the parenting experience.
So you're saying I don't need to be alarmed if I feel like I'm messing up half the time?
Not at all.
But then there is social media. Instagram sometimes makes it seem like every other family is thriving on kale chips and Montessori playrooms, while I'm over here with a kid who thinks ketchup is a vegetable. Yep, ketchup counts, by the way.
It absolutely does. What kids need most isn't curated crafts or perfect nutrition. It's a sense of safety, love, and connection. The rest, details.
I can do love and connection even if dinner is chicken nuggets.
I believe that. Nuggets are a love language in this house.
And when guilt shows up, I encourage parents to pause and ask, is this guilt helpful, or is it just noise? Helpful guilt nudges us to tweak something. Noise is the endless comparison that steals joy.
Okay, but how do you tell the difference?
Good question. Let's say your toddler hasn't had a vegetable in a week. You might feel guilty. If that prompts you to try carrots again tomorrow, that's useful. But if you spiral into, I'm a terrible mom, everyone else is doing better, that's just noise.
Interesting.
And one practical tool is self-talk. Instead of, I failed, try, today was tough, but I'll try again tomorrow. Small shift, big impact.
That's so good, because sometimes I need to hear my own voice give me permission to not be perfect.
Same. And honestly, returning to the social media subject, I think they all make the spiral worse. You scroll and see perfect bento boxes, not the tantrum that happened 2 seconds later.
Right? Meanwhile, my kid is alive, loved, and relatively clean. That should count for something.
It counts for everything. Children don't need perfection. They need presence and love.
Okay, I just teared up a little.
Let me leave you with this. Every mom wonders if she's doing enough. And if you're asking the question, the answer is almost always yes. You are enough.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I feel like we all needed to hear that today. So, moms, if you're listening, your guilt, your exhaustion, your messy way, it's all normal.
And you're not alone in it.
Speaking again of self-care, can we reframe it? Because so many moms picture bubble baths and candles, but in reality, self-care can be letting your partner handle bedtime while you sit in silence with tea, or saying yes when a friend offers to bring dinner.
Or cereal night.
Always cereal night.
Exactly. Self-care is whatever restores your energy enough to show up again tomorrow.
Okay, but here's something I think a lot of moms wonder. How do I know if it's just mom guilt or something bigger, like postpartum depression or anxiety?
That's such an important distinction. It's normal to have hard days, to cry in the shower, to feel touched out. But if sadness, anxiety, or guilt are constant, if they don't lift for weeks, if daily tasks feel impossible, or if intrusive thoughts keep looping, that's when we worry about something clinical.
So, like, not just exhaustion, but heaviness that doesn't budge.
Yep. Postpartum depression and anxiety affect about 1 in 5 mothers. That's a lot. The good news is support helps. Therapy, medication, peer groups. And asking for help doesn't mean you're weak. It means you care enough to get better.
That's powerful, because the hardest step can be saying out loud, I'm not okay.
Totally. I remember admitting that to a friend once, and instead of judging, she said, "Me too." And that cracked something open.
That Me Too is so healing. Parenting was never meant to be done in isolation. Historically, there were villages, extended families. Now, we're often doing it behind closed doors, and it takes a toll.
Which makes me think, maybe the village today is mom groups, online communities, neighbors who show up, or the one friend who says, drop the baby here for an hour and go nap.
True. Community can look different now, but the principle is the same. You're not meant to do this alone.
Okay, so another one. Is it normal to miss my old life? Like, I love being a mom, but sometimes I fantasize about just getting on a plane and leaving for a while.
Oh my gosh, yes. A hotel room with white sheets and no one calling mommy for 24 hours?
That is very normal. Longing for freedom doesn't cancel your love for your child. It simply means you're human with multiple needs. In fact, research shows that mothers who maintain a sense of self through hobbies, friendships, career, report lower rates of burnout.
So self-care isn't just bubble baths, it's preserving your identity.
That's it. Because you're still you. Motherhood adds to your identity. It doesn't erase it.
I wish someone had told me that earlier, because I spent months thinking, well, this is who I am now. Mom. That's it.
Same. And then you almost resent it.
Yes, and resentment is a signal too. It means something in your needs or boundaries is being overlooked. Listening to it can help you rebalance.
And finally, what about partners? Where do they fit into this picture?
Great question. Partners can be anchors, but only if communication is open. Many moms hesitate to say, I need a break, or I'm drowning. But being clear helps both sides. Even small shifts, sharing bedtime, splitting household tasks, can lighten the load.
I feel like sometimes the bravest thing a mom can say is, I can't do all of this by myself.
And that's not weakness, that's wisdom. Children benefit from seeing teamwork and from having parents who take care of their own well-being.
Okay, I need to tattoo that on my arm. Put it on a mug.
Or at least write it on a sticky note for those messy days.
Can I bring up something kind of delicate?
Go for it. We're already knee-deep in diapers. Nothing shocks me anymore.
Fair. Okay, libido.
Oh, we're going there.
We're going there. Because nobody told me how much it would change after having a baby. And for a while I thought, is something wrong with me?
Oh, thank you for saying that out loud. I remember Googling, is it normal not to want sex postpartum at like 3 a.m.?
And you're not alone at all. Libido shifts are extremely common after birth. Hormonal changes, sleep deprivation, healing from delivery, the mental load, it all impacts desire. It doesn't mean you don't love your partner or that intimacy is gone forever.
That's such a relief to hear because the guilt was real.
Guilt adds unnecessary pressure. Think of libido like energy. It ebbs and flows. For many parents, intimacy looks different for a season. What matters most is communication. Letting your partner know where you're at and finding other ways to connect while your body and mind adjust.
So like cuddling, talking, laughing together, keeping the connection alive, even if sex isn't frequent.
Exactly. And if months go by and desire doesn't return, or if it's causing distress in the relationship, that's when it's worth talking with a healthcare provider. Sometimes simple things like addressing sleep, checking hormones, or therapy make a big difference.
I love how you frame it as a season. That takes away the pressure that this is forever.
Yes, seasons change, and intimacy can come back stronger when couples move through these transitions with honesty and patience.
I love that. And it circles back to what you said earlier. So many of these is it normal questions, whether it's about our kids or ourselves, are really about needing reassurance that we're not broken.
For sure, whether it's tantrums, separation anxiety, guilt, or libido, so much of parenting is walking through phases. Some pass quickly, some linger longer, but most are part of a broad range of normal.
And for the times when it doesn't feel like just a phase, that's when we lean on support. Professionals, partners, friends, community. Which is honestly the thread of this whole conversation. You don't have to figure it all out alone. Okay, lightning round. Quick questions, quick answers.
Sophia, no pressure, but moms everywhere are counting on you.
Let's do it.
Is it normal for teething to totally wreck sleep and appetite?
Yes, teething can throw everything off for a week or two. Miserable, but normal.
Is it normal for a toddler to drink juice all day if I let them?
No, wanting juice is normal, but drinking only juice isn't healthy. Boundaries matter.
Is it normal for kids to get mild fevers after vaccines?
Yes, low fever, soreness expected, but if it's high or persistent, that's not normal.
Is it normal if my child has bad breath?
Sometimes, yes. Morning breath or after certain foods is fine. Constant strong odor, not normal. Check teeth or see a pediatric dentist.
Is it normal for my toddler to line up toys in perfect rows?
Sometimes, many kids do that in play, but if it's rigid and obsessive with little social interest, that's not typical.
Is it normal for my baby to not smile or make eye contact?
No, smiling and eye contact usually emerge in the first months. Absence is a red flag.
Is it normal for a preschooler to want screen time constantly?
Yes, the craving is normal. Unlimited access isn't.
Is it normal for my child to snore loudly every night?
No, persistent snoring could signal sleep apnea. Needs a doctor.
Is it normal if my toddler eats only bread for a week?
Yes, food jags happen. If growth's okay, it's not a worry.
Is it normal if my toddler never wants to brush teeth?
Yes, resistance is normal. What's not normal is skipping brushing long term. Cavities start young.
Is it normal if my child asks deep, almost scary questions about death?
Yes, around 4 to 7, kids get curious about mortality. It's developmental.
Is it normal for my toddler to still not walk at 20 months?
No. By 18 months, most should be walking. At 20 months, check with a pediatrician.
Is it normal if my child prefers adults over kids?
Often, yes. Some kids feel safer with adults. As long as they can join peers eventually, it's fine.
Is it normal if my child gets car sick every trip?
Yes, motion sickness is common, but severe vomiting every ride?
Not typical. Check with a doctor.
Is it normal if my child goes willingly with strangers, no hesitation at all?
That one is tricky. Some kids are very outgoing, but absolutely no hesitation, no seeking back to parents, that's not normal and can signal attachment issues.
Is it normal if my child touches their own body?
Yes, self-discovery is part of development. Teach privacy calmly.
Is it normal if my child refuses most clothes because of itchy tags?
Mild sensory dislikes? Normal. Extreme refusal daily? Not normal. Could need support.
Is it normal if my child constantly chews on clothes or pencils?
Sometimes yes, but if excessive or damaging, that's more than a phase.
Is it normal if my child rocks back and forth a lot?
Occasional rocking, especially before sleep, can be soothing. Constant rocking without interaction, not normal.
Is it normal for a 3-year-old to still use a pacifier?
Yes, still common. But past 4 years, time to phase out.
Is it normal if my baby never babbles?
No, babbling is a key milestone. If it's missing, get it checked.
Is it normal if siblings fight constantly?
Fighting is normal. What's not normal is nonstop aggression that doesn't improve with guidance.
Is it normal if my child is terrified of hand dryers or vacuums?
Yes, noise fears are common and usually fade.
Is it normal for my child to never play pretend?
No, pretend play usually appears by age 3. If absent, that's a concern.
Is it normal for my child to wake up screaming at night?
Sometimes, yes, night terrors happen, but frequent or severe screaming isn't typical.
Is it normal for my child to gag at new foods?
Yes, gag reflex is strong early on. If it persists long term, not so much.
Is it normal for my preschooler to be extremely shy?
Shyness itself is normal. Total withdrawal and panic in every setting, that's not.
Is it normal if my child repeats the same phrase endlessly?
Repetition for learning, yes. If it's their only communication, no.
Is it normal for my baby to have crossed eyes sometimes?
First months, yes. After 6 months, no. Needs evaluation.
Is it normal if my child refuses to eat vegetables forever?
The refusal is normal. Forever isn't. Exposure and modeling help.
Is it normal if my child gets nosebleeds often?
Occasionally, yes. Heavy or frequent nosebleeds, not normal.
Is it normal for my child to suddenly start stuttering?
Sometimes, yes. Speech can stumble during language bursts. But if stuttering is severe or persists, it's not normal.
Wow, that was a marathon.
And honestly, I learned as much from the not normals as from the yeses.
That's the balance. Parents need reassurance, but also clarity on when it's time to seek professional help.
And we should say it out loud. This conversation is guidance, not a substitute for seeing your pediatrician.
Exactly. If something worries you or your gut says something's off, talk to a professional.
Right. You don't have to carry that worry alone.
Okay, wow. We've covered so much ground today.
Yeah, I feel like we just ran a marathon of parenting questions.
And you both kept up beautifully.
Thank you, Sophia, for being here. Honestly, this was like a giant exhale for me. So many of those "is it normal" questions just keep rattling around in my head, and having clear, compassionate answers, it's gold.
Totally. And also hearing the "no, that's not normal" parts, but in such a calm, non-scary way, that's powerful. Because moms don't just need reassurance, we need clarity.
And what I want everyone listening to remember is you're not supposed to have all the answers. Parenting isn't a test you pass or fail. It's a relationship you build day by day.
I love that. Before we let you go, could you give us like 3 short takeaways for moms to hang on to when the days feel extra heavy?
Sure. First, development is a range, not a race. Kids get there at different times. Second, behavior is communication. Even tantrums are your child telling you something. Third, trust your gut. If something feels off, it's okay to ask for help.
Beautiful. I feel like those 3 should be on a poster in every pediatric waiting room.
Or tattooed on our arms, right? Okay, friends, this is the part where we thank you for being with us all the way to the end. If you're listening, we know you care deeply about your kids and about being the kind of mom who shows up. That's why we do this.
And we'd really love to keep this conversation going. Follow us at The Everyday Motherhood.
And please drop a comment. Tell us, what's your big "is it normal" question we didn't cover today?
Because we know we didn't get to everything. There are a million things that can keep us up at night.
And your questions might be exactly what another mom is struggling with too.
One more thing. If today stirred something in you, maybe a worry, or maybe just a relief, you don't have to sit with it alone. Reach out to your pediatrician, a trusted professional, or even just a friend. Parenting was never meant to be a solo project.
Yes, Community is the antidote to comparison and guilt.
And you're doing better than you think.
That's the perfect note to end on.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Sophia.
Thank you for having me. It's been a joy.
And thank you, listeners. We'll be back soon with more honest, real conversations.
Until then, take care, love your little ones, and remember, you're not alone in this.